Hello, and welcome to our show for the love of animals. We're so glad you joined us today. Get your paper and pencil handy because we have a great topic for you. I'm Darlene Pigford.
And I'm Greg Bauer, and I want to tell our viewers about a couple of upcoming shows.
Okay.
But before we do that, Angie and Wicket
took
the afternoon off. They wanted to sleep today. A couple of upcoming shows, one on socializing your pet, and primarily dealing with dogs on that one, and also one on hummingbirds. So we want to stay tuned for those, and we know you'll enjoy those. But what do we have on tap for today, Darlene?
Well, you know, Greg, we did one on grooming your dog. Well, today we're going to groom a cat.
Oh boy.
So, like I said, get your paper and pencil because you want to remember the tips that our special guest will give you today.
Including a live demonstration.
Absolutely.
I want to introduce our guest. To Darlene's left, one holding the cat Casper there is Michelle Fowler, who's no stranger to our viewers.
No.
And to her right is Dena Rowe, and she and Michelle are working together, and so let's have at it.
Well, you two are in the pet business. Dena, tell me about your fur family, your family critters that you have at home.
I have a lot. I have 11 dogs and currently probably about 8 cats, goats, horses, donkeys, chickens. Currently, that changes every week. But.
Oh, obviously you're a country gal.
Yes, I am.
I'm proud of. Well, hey, hers is bigger than ours, Greg. How about that?
Yes.
And Michelle, how has yours grown?
That would be a whole show in itself.
I know.
I still have several Mastiffs, but then we also have lots of, foster rescue dogs, and that changes weekly. We've also taken in several farm animals that are rescues, horses and donkeys and goats and chickens as well.
Oh my goodness, you two are
some
just
sheep.
You two are just incredible. Well, how did you? Tell me about you are now in your business is you have a grooming and a day spa for animals?
Grooming, boarding, and day camp.
Sounds like wonderful.
It's a lot of fun.
How did you two evolve into the pet business? I know you were so much from rescue work. I mean, you had to.
Mine was accidental, but and then she and I ran into each other just accidentally, and ideas were the same. Because we wanted, something fun and safe and fun for the pets.
Yeah, but you're leading with your heart. I mean, I know
absolutely.
Both. And I understand. Tell me about your master's degree that you have.
I have a master's degree in animal science and agriculture.
Oh my goodness. These two are just unbelievable. No wonder they know how to give a cat a bath. So let's start with, tell us how to bathe a cat.
Cats sometimes, 90% of them don't like water. The biggest thing, and a lot of people think it's not good, but if you hold them by the scruff of their neck, it's comforting, like that's how the mama cat carries them. It's more comforting, when you're bathing.
And it doesn't hurt them.
No, as you see, they're very calm. She doesn't fight it. It's a soothing position for them because that's how the mom carries the babies when they're little. That also gives you control. If you're holding it like this and you're spraying it, she's not likely to be able to whip around and scratch and bite because when you turn the water on, if they're not used to it, they usually are going to, get a little upset and, will try to bite or fight with you.
Okay. All right. What do I do before I actually put them in the water? What should I do?
See all the hair flying? You can, there's so many different brushes and combs. You've got slicker brushes, and you have to find the one that's right for your cat's type hair. So some are more coarse, and then you've got all the way down to softer or longer. But you'll want to brush and as you see, there's considerable
any excess
amount.
hair.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get them so upset about being brushed before they get into the bathtub.
If you will start, as you see, she's purring like crazy. If you get them used to this as a kitten, and you're brushing that, see, she loves this. That's not the traumatic part in the grooming. This is it's like getting rubbed. That's why I said you want to get the best brush. If you've got too coarse and it hurts and I'm coming back, and it scratches, but this is a very soft bristle brush, and as you see, in just a couple minutes, it works wonderful.
Let me feel the texture on that.
That one's very soft, and this one's an even softer bristle.
Oh, soft, okay.
Yeah, and then you see this is a much harder bristle for longer hair.
And I see it's curved, so that fits, okay.
And then, you have the furminators, which some cats aren't big with the furminators.
Yeah, I'll say if you do this to your skin, you'll understand what it is. The cat doesn't want to be hurt either. You'll be
No,
joking.
if you sit the Furminator, will do the same thing, but they're a little more wiggly with the Furminator a lot of times
All right,
because
now.
it pulls.
All right, but now let's get to the bath.
Okay.
What am I gonna, how do I get her in a tub or used to water or and the shampoo and all of that?
If you'll start, they do make waterless shampoo for cats, but they don't really work. It works in a pinch. If you'll get her used to it slowly, you'll have her, you can have like a little table type thing in your bathtub if you want that will have her up off so you're not leaned over so far.
Oh, that's a good
But you'll
tip.
hold her by the gruff and just kind of turn the water on, get her used to the running of the water, run it a little on her feet to be prepared because she's probably not gonna, she's gonna be a little scared at first with it.
Okay, so I guess I want to keep it quiet and I don't want the hose to make a lot of extra
Right.
noise. Yeah.
And if you start them young, it helps a lot.
Okay, how about drying them?
Most cats don't like the blow dryers.
The noise, yeah.
Yes, if you do have a kennel or a crate, you can put them in it with a box fan or something in front of it.
Okay.
That circulates some air. Your cat's probably not going to sit still for you to turn the blow dryer on her. Some will, but
The noise
yeah,
is what
the
scares
noise
them.
and that air blowing
and the
on them.
sound of the.
Right. You towel dry, and they make the chamois for pets, and it's a good towel that will absorb most of the moisture, and that'll work quite a bit.
Yeah, I have read that you want to pat them dry rather than rub them
Rubbing it a lot of times, if they have longer hair, it'll mat the hair up.
and tangle
And
them.
if you pat it, or even just wrap them in it and just kind of, yeah.
Is there any rule of thumb about how often you should bathe a cat?
It depends. Different vets, different books will tell you things. They say you shouldn't do it too often because of the skin, and you want to make sure you use a shampoo. Like if you're using a flea shampoo, that's very harsh. It has chemicals in it.
Right.
That will dry the skin out. If you can use a baby shampoo. They have shampoos specifically for cats that's better for their skin. But you just want to make sure that you don't get them too dried out from all the bathing.
And I guess you don't want to use too much shampoo at first because I guess to have that left on their skin would be
Right.
very irritating.
I always suggest watering it down in a different bottle where it's really runny at first, so that makes it easier to get it off.
Yeah, and it'd probably be better to over rinse than under rinse.
Exactly.
Okay. Dena, how often do your cats get a bath?
Well, that depends. I have farm cats that would be a challenge to give a bath to.
Oh, absolutely.
But my inside cats, they get about twice a year.
Yeah, well, I have learned from someone on this show that cats do need baths. And so I haven't done a lot of it, but I'm moving a lot more in that direction because I understand after they've been groomed, after they have a bath, it's easier to get the hair out. Is that?
Usually I will try to brush the hair out before that, because if
and-
you get it wet, those tangles will get tighter, and
Okay.
it sometimes can make sores under the skin. If you've got tangles, you don't want to get them wet until you get those out.
Okay,
Because
so
that
okay,
stays
that's-
moist. That keeps it moist underneath of that tangle, which can make a sore on
So
their
if I
skin.
got a lot of tangles, I need to get them out
Yes.
first before I
Right.
even consider bathing
Right.
a cat.
That initial brushing is so important.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're not actually going to demonstrate a bath today with a cat.
No, I didn't bring the water along. We're not going to.
And we're going to do some other things with grooming. But right now we want to take a short break and hear about a happy tale of a cat or a dog, actually, that we probably are going to see a little bit later. So give a listen.
Tama, a Corso Mastiff, is a 1-year-old spayed female of blue brindle color. After she was rescued from her breeder, Dena gave her a loving new home. Tama loves people, cats, and other dogs, and she's being now trained for personal protection.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little tale. It was very short, but very, very interesting. Two things we'd like to do before we get into the actual grooming of the cat. First of all, we'd like to remind our viewers how you can access our show. And if you have a piece of paper and pencil, you go to www.paducah2.org/video clips/animals, and you can arrow down to the show that you're interested in seeing, and there will be a link there that will take you to the show on YouTube. Or you can also do it with Facebook. I know everybody's Facebook these days. And if you simply go to Paducah 2, you can search the list of shows there and then choose the one that you'd like.
And incidentally, this is grooming your cat, but those of you who are interested in grooming your dog will find a past show among that list when you go to the Paducah 2 website.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, Dena, how can our viewers get more information
About grooming
your
your
cat?
cat.
They can either call us at 270-554-3872, or they could visit our website, furkidshotel.com, or our Facebook page, Fur Kids Hotel.
Wow. All right. In other words, just ask for Dena or Michelle, right?
Yes, we're usually the one that answers the phones anyway, so.
Okay. Well, returning now, we've talked about giving Casper, our guest here, a bath. Now let's talk about all the details of grooming Casper. Now Casper would be what length hair?
Kind of medium, I think. Yeah.
Kind of medium. Okay.
Yeah, he's more of a medium. I think as she gets older, it might get shorter, but as you see, she's shedding considerably. Like I said, the biggest thing with them is picking the right brush. You've got so many different textures. This one I like for her. It's got a longer bristle, and it gets down kind of closer to the skin, and you can comes out by the handfuls. You know, if you have one with the tangles, you know, this is called a molting comb. It's got the long bristle, the long tooth and then the short tooth. It gets way down in for the long-haired cats that have like in the back where she's got the thick undercoat.
Ooh,
and it'll pull, you know, and if it's tangles, it'll get in there. You can't get down. And you know, when you have the mats, they have the mat combs. This particular comb you have to be careful with. This has razors under it.
Ooh,
but it works like if you have a mat and you get underneath like that, it will break the tangle up. That way you're not taking scissors, because if you take a cat with a mat and you pull it up and try to cut the mat, you know, their skin is paper thin. It's very easy to cut it. This works well because you can get underneath like such, and it will get the tangle broke up, and then you take one of the combs and it'll just brush the tangle out.
Okay.
The biggest thing is getting all the tangles out, because if you don't, you'll get sores under the skin from the tangles being tight. It can pull the hair out from the skin and make, you know, bald patches, and it can be sore. It can be quite painful.
And the other thing is that if you do that with a cat, the next time you want to groom your cat, they're going to remember
yes, you
that.
want to make it pleasant. You don't want it to be really painful. But there's so many different, as with the brushes, you know, the different combs for the different, if you've got a really thick hair, you know, you've got to have further teeth. You know, you have the flea combs, no, I didn't bring the flea, yeah, I did. The flea combs, if you've got the cats with the fleas or the tight, and you can get in there and it gets all the flea dirt and anything out. But you don't have to have all of this for one. You just pick the right tools for your cat's hair.
But you know,
coat.
sometimes you don't know that until after you bought the tool.
Yes, if you go in and talk to, you know, any of the pet stores when you go in to buy your tools, or read on it. It'll say on the package for coarse hair, short hair, thick hair. But one of the main things is if you don't know and you're not sure, get a molting comb, this is for the coat.
Now you call that a what?
Molting comb.
Okay.
Well,
And
what's the
just get a
characteristic of that molting
It has a
comb?
long tooth and a short tooth.
Long tooth
Okay.
and a short.
And that's the best to get that undercoat and tangles. It works for all of that.
Okay, long and short. Okay.
Yes.
I
That
don't
and
have
then
one of these.
they're wonderful. We'll have to get you one.
I'll have to get one. I'll have to get one for
But
my
that and just a basic, if you're not sure, get a medium
just okay.
length and just a medium coarseness on the brush.
Okay.
Those two are good for pretty much any.
All right, now to start with, let's suppose I have an antsy cat, and you know they're not used to being brushed very much. Where would you start? On their back?
If she's not familiar with it, first, just while she's really relaxed at night, just get her used to it just with a couple minutes laying on your lap brushing, just for a day or two to get her used to it.
Okay.
And then you can, as with the bath, hold her by the scruff to keep her from moving. Most, as you see, she's purring away. Most of them like the brushing. If you've got, you know,
She's a special cat, though. She's not like all cats.
No,
This is a special cat.
Actually, most of the cats that I groom, the brushing, they don't mind the brushing. And now, if you've let your cat get really tangled, then it's a little difficult because it's, you know, it's sore. But most of them like it. But if you just kind of rubble, when they get tired of it, give them a break for a little while.
Now, how about over their spinal column? You would not want
Yeah.
to.
No, it won't.
As long as you're gentle.
Yeah, you don't push real hard. You just, it's kind of the same to them as just, you know, you rubbing with fingernails. They also make, these are neat little, it's just, I don't even really know what it's called. It's just a rubber one,
It's
and
kind
it
of
causes a static electricity where when you brush, it kind of
It covers more
yeah.
area, yeah.
And it brings, as you see, then they like it. It's for cats that aren't real thrilled with the brushes. You can use this
Oh,
because it's
okay.
a softer.
Softer,
You know, it's
okay.
a much softer, and you see it does very well as well. This is a new one I've just recently found
Ah,
and started
yeah,
using.
I'll have to get one of
But
those too.
as you yeah, they're great. We'll have to make you a nice order.
Oh, yes, we
Oh, no.
you loop
We know
me
where you
in
can
and-
buy
But you
those.
see in just a couple minutes time all the hair that you can get out like that.
Yeah.
And then she's going to wiggle because see, she enjoyed it.
Oh, my word.
The Furminator, you know, you can get the Furminators. They work, but some cats aren't as tolerant of it because it does grab the hair more and it pulls.
It's an awful lot of work.
It's
for-
harder on their skin, I think. I think they
Yeah.
tend to like these slicker brushes better.
Yeah.
you
So,
know.
well,
I
now I have a very long-haired cat, Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
You want to get a
what
slicker
would you
brush.
use? I mean, and Maxwell's towards his bottom, he
end.
doesn't. It's very thick there.
You'll want, that's where the molting comb comes in
Oh,
handy
okay.
because it's a
And
thicker
this
hair.
is the brush you would
Yes.
use.
One, probably more like one of these two. Because
Okay.
you don't want, if he's
That's
real
too much,
sensitive,
right.
it's kind of harsh. This one has a long, and they make them with very long bristles. But if you go too soft, it won't get down under the hair. Because
Okay.
you want to get, but between that and then the molting comb, if you're in that long, thick hair,
Yes,
it'll
I
come
know.
out in big, you know, when you get down there, it comes out in big
Right.
clumps.
Now, for an amateur, if I'm brushing my animal and all, and it gets antsy, I should either stop or either return to petting.
Yeah,
Right?
give her some love, some attention for a little bit to reassure her that it's nothing to hurt her.
Yes.
That it's just, you know, that it's trying to help her. But, you know, especially if it's her first time, she's not going to know what you're doing, and, you know, you don't want her to get a bad experience with it.
Yeah. What I have done with mine, and see, I made a mistake. I didn't do this when they were very, very young. I have to run my hand down, then I brush. run
Which is
my
where
hand
this
down.
comes
I
in handy.
alternate.
You know, this is
Yes,
a good
yes.
starting thing to get them used to grooming, because you can't just pick one up and start
No,
and go.
no.
You know, you want to gradually get into it. With this one, they feels like the same, but it does work as a brush.
And if
I
I
mean,
do
and
all this, my cat's going to behave like Casper, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
But
that-
if you make it, you know, especially, you know, normally you would put them up on a surface to do
Right.
it. But if they're not, if your cat's more antsy like that, if you're laying there watching
Yeah.
TV and she's laying in your lap just like that, you can start by rubbing and then
And
just,
just
yeah.
prepare
And
her.
it's like a loving session as well. You know,
Yeah,
if you
that
can
is
do it
true.
real simple like that, and it's all, they think of it as still just getting petted and attention.
It's a bonding.
Yes.
Yes. In other words, to remember to make it fun for them and don't hurt them.
Right, and you want to try, if any way possible, to do it before your cat's coat gets really matted in any bad shape,
Yes.
because then it is more, you know, it's by then the tangles are tight, it's pulling on the skin, it's painful, and then the brushing and trying to get those tangles out can be painful.
And it's probably going to find more tangles than a cat that is outside,
Yes.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
rather than one that's inside all the
Exactly.
time. So,
Yes.
well, I tell you, we're getting a really good lesson on this at this point. and
You are so cute.
She
Casper-
cat for this.
She is so precious.
we want to take another short break and listen to a happy tale. This time we feature our subject over here, Casper.
Here's Casper.
So give a listen.
Casper, an American shorthair cat, is a white spayed female. She was a stray from Ballard County that ended up at Coffee Animal Clinic in the center and was brought to Fur Kids Pet Hotel. She's approximately 1 year old and is a very sweet, loving cat. And now she's going home with Dena.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little short tale about Casper. And this afternoon we're visiting with Dena Rowe down on the end here, and Michelle Fowler, who's just to Darlene's right, and we're learning an awful lot about
grooming your cat.
Yes, thank you, dear. Dena, how can we get more information about the kind of things that you do with grooming and such like that? First of all, a phone number where they could reach you and Michelle?
Yeah, they can give us a call at 270-554-3872. They
Okay.
can also go to our website, furkidshotel.com. or visit us on Facebook. We're always putting some neat pictures up there at
Oh,
Fur Kids Hotel on the Facebook.
And you have a book there that we've all decided is a pretty good reference. Tell us real quickly about that.
Yeah, the good place to start would be Think Like a Cat, How to Raise a Well-Adjusted Cat by Pam Johnson Bennett. And specifically, Chapter 12 talks about grooming your cat and how to make it a pleasurable experience.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
in fact, that, after these two, that's a lot of our show information. We're very appreciative of that. So.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I just can't believe this little cat.
Isn't she great?
Yeah, she is now. You've got some other things to show us here on your grooming table, Michelle.
One thing, is the nails. You do have to cut the cat nails. If you squeeze the pad of the foot a little, the nail will poke out. You can see you don't want to go too short.
Okay.
You've got, a lot of people will use the little nail scissors, the cat scissors. I always do like just a little tiny. These are just for like little small dogs.
Uh-huh.
But you just want to, get it where the nail's out just enough, and just a little clip at the end to get it done. If for any reason, you do cut it, it will bleed some. If you can have Medicip powder there. If you don't, baby powder or flour or something is a quick fix at
really?
home. Or even if your cat breaks his nail or something, it's a quick fix if they're bleeding. If you do accidentally cut it too short, you can put that in there, and it will usually clot it up and stop the bleeding.
It's better to cut. It's better to go leave them too long,
Yes.
rather, particularly for an inexperienced.
And then a lot of times the cats aren't going to be real cooperative with the nail cutting.
No.
You might need two people, one person holding or loving her. Again, if you hold the scruff of the neck and then cut, and you can just do the tips, and it helps. It gets rid of that sharp edge, and then it helps. You do that periodically, and you'll gradually get them shorter.
And you should use a special scissors for that. A lot of people will try
Yes.
to use those fingernail clippers that clamp together.
And it usually will bend the nail because their nail's not like a dog nail. It's softer, and it will bend and sometimes cause it to be painful.
Okay.
Okay. And I guess you probably could do all 4 paws at one time. I probably would be doing good on one of our cats to do 1 paw at a time.
And sometimes you do. If they don't like it, you can sneak and get 1 foot and then get another foot, a little later, and
Right.
just gradually get it all done.
So that's why I guess it would be when you're petting your pet, is just getting them used to having
Yeah.
touch.
Play with their
Yeah,
toes.
Maxwell,
rub 'em.
our
Yeah.
long-haired cat, just does. I have to really work with him to let me just rub his paws.
Most cats don't like you to do that, and a lot of it is because they feel trapped. They don't, when you're holding their paws, they're defenseless.
That's right. I guess they would.
And then I know a lot of people aren't big on muzzles and things. If you do have a cat that you have to get the nails cut or something, or you've got tangles, you have to get it out, they do make specific muzzles for cats. They work wonderful. I'll show you
Okay.
how it works. This is a small one.
Okay.
It kind of goes over the face. Come here. She's like,
She's
wait.
like, I don't need one.
It goes like that, and it will. She's too little for this one.
Yeah.
But it simply it will go around the muzzle. It has the nose, and it actually makes them feel comfortable because it covers the eyes, and so they're at a disadvantage. They can't see. So
Oh, so it's supposed to cover their
It
eyes.
covers their eyes. It has the hole for the breathing, and it actually does work well.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
we're done.
Okay, and I assume that these are you can throw these in the washing
Yes,
machine
yeah.
because they will get.
Yes, they work wonderful
Oh,
for the cats. It just kind of comes around the eyes. It has the nose hole in front.
Right.
And it velcros on the back. Most cats, they actually get calmer when you put it on.
Okay. Well.
And you have the cotton balls just for cleaning out the ears, or when you're giving a bath, if it's a cat that is very wild in the bathtub, you can put the cotton balls in the ears to
keep the water out.
Yes, because you
I
don't want to
never
get
thought of
much
that.
water in there because
They
you
wouldn't like
get,
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has been so good throughout
She's a wonderful cat.
about this whole demonstration. So I can see why your daughter why both you and your daughter fell in love with this little one. I could just see. I don't think Angie would have made it through on the grooming show.
She's a pretty good one for this.
Yeah, and Angie is our resident cat. So.
Yes.
So, in summary, if I take it very slow and I'm patient, I can learn to give my cat a bath. I can learn to do their nails, and I can learn to do their coats, right?
Exactly, and you can make it something that she enjoys. As you see, Casper loved laying there being brushed.
Yeah. Well, it just takes a lot of patience, and I guess you have to you have to start and do baby steps.
Yes, in small increments.
Right.
And I know we have a lot of viewers that say, I would never do that to my cat. And,
That's where they like it. You know, it's comforting. It's just something you and her share together while you're watching TV.
it's a
Or-
way of bonding with your cat.
Yes.
And so it can be a very pleasurable experience. And I think you've demonstrated some wonderful things there with it, Michelle.
And she started young. She's still a baby. So as you see, if
That
you start
makes
them
a
as a
big difference. A
She's had
big-
baths. She's pretty good with all of it.
Yes. And going back to all these tools, so when I go to the pet store, I need to read,
Yes.
coarse or fine hair, long or short, or find a pro somewhere and ask them. Okay. Then if all else fails, you go find a groomer.
Well, and if you're in a pinch and you're not sure, just get the medium
with
slicker brush and get just a basic comb, especially
Okay,
the
bring
molting
out
comb.
those two to start. What would you start with?
The molting comb and just a medium slicker brush.
All right.
And it won't matter if it's round or flat.
Okay.
Whichever one you're more comfortable
Boy.
with. Yeah, that's
Wow.
Is
All
it
right. So
multi-eye,
start with something like
MOUL.
start with
Molting.
something like that. So
Yeah.
Now I
Those
have,
two things are your keys to getting the hair and the fur out.
okay. Gotcha.
And
So
we think that has kind of summarized what our show has been about today. And
Casper, thanks you for having her.
yes,
well,
thank
we
you,
certainly
Casper,
thank you two for all the good work that you have done with the rescue and that you currently are doing with animals. I know you have some resident cats in your new business. And they are just as cute as they can be. So we appreciate all the work that you two do to help animals in our community. And I know the long history, Michelle, that you've done with the dog rescue and Dena, but both of you. And we really appreciate you. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing the show with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've enjoyed having you. And
I've
I'll tell
learned
you,
a lot.
Yeah, and we're going to run home and start on all 10 of our cats.
Well, most of our cats are senior citizens, but I can't.
Well,
But I guess we can go home and practice. Angie's our youngest.
we're
So.
senior citizens and we get haircuts, don't we?
Well, now speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Well, in closing, it's been a fun show today. And
Yes, it has.
Darlene, we want to remind our viewers what we tell them every time. Give your pet a little extra love today
And every day.
See you next time.
Bye.